assignment. How are we supposed to find out more about the history of the Church of the Nazarene?
Cheer up, Curtis. This will be a fun project. I've always wanted to learn more about how the Church of the Nazarene was started, and now we'll get a chance to find out. Besides, the best presentation gets a prize. Doesn't that sound great?
Well, I guess so. I suppose it could be fun to learn, and I'd like the prize, but where do we start? I've looked online, but I can't find very much about our church's early history.
Well, surely you learned something new online, right?
Yep, I learned the Church of the Nazarene wants to make Christ-like disciples in the nations.
That sounds cool, Curtis, but what does it mean?
Well, I guess everyone should follow Jesus and help others to live like Jesus.
Wow, I want to do that. Did you learn anything else?
Actually, yes. I also learned there are a number of Nazarene colleges, universities, and seminaries around the world. In fact, some of them are over 100 years old.
You mean when I'm older, I can go to a Nazarene college?
You sure can, Joy. Just about anywhere in the world.
Awesome, Curtis. But we'll still need more information for this assignment. Hey, I have an idea. My dad told me Chuck Sundberg knows just about everything about our church's history.
Huh? You mean Pastor Chuck? I know he used to be a missionary in Russia, but are you sure? I mean, what if he just gives us a big, long sermon or something?
Curtis, shame on you. Pastor Sundberg is a really cool and interesting guy. I'm sure we could learn a ton from him. Ask your parents if you can go, and I'll ask my dad to call Pastor Sundberg.
All right, Joy, but I'm telling you, it's gonna be boring. He'll probably want to show us 2 hours worth of those old-fashioned slide pictures from when he was in Russia. We'll be lucky if we learn anything from him, except that we made a huge mistake by visiting him.
Oh, Curtis, just ask your parents if you can go and trust me on this one.
All right, Joy. Whatever you say. Hello?
Curtis, this is Joy. My dad called Pastor Sundberg, and he wants to meet at his friend's office Thursday afternoon.
An office? Well, that's kind of weird. Okay, what time?
At 4 o'clock, right after school. We can walk together.
Okay, great. Thanks, Joy. I'll see you then.
Well, hello, kids. Welcome to my friend's office. Come in, come in. Can I get you anything to drink? Milk, lemonade?
Hello, Pastor Sundberg. Yes, I'd love some lemonade. Thank you.
Sure, Pastor Sundberg. Lemonade sounds great. Thank you.
Kids, just call me Pastor Chuck. Now, the room we'll be using is right down the hall, second door on the left. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable, and I'll get you drinks.
Wow! Dad told me Pastor Sundberg, Pastor Chuck's friend had a really cool office building, but he didn't tell me it had a movie studio. This is huge! How'd you like to watch your DVDs on a screen like this?
That would be awesome!
How do you like Paul's studio, kids?
This is the coolest room ever!
Yeah, it's incredible!
Yes, it is. Paul is a really good friend of mine. He's a genius with video production. So Joy, your father tells me you're interested in learning more about the Church of the Nazarene.
Yes, Pastor Chuck. Curtis and I are in the same Sunday school class, even though I'm 10 and he's only 9.
Oh, big deal. I'm only 10 months and 18 days younger than you.
Yep, you sure are. Anyway, Pastor Chuck, our Sunday school teacher, told us to get a partner and learn as much as we can about the Church of the Nazarene in the next several weeks.
Yeah, and next month, we're all going to get a turn to present what we've learned to everyone in our class.
Wow, sounds like you two have a lot of work ahead of you, but I think I can help you out a bit. Perhaps I should begin by asking you what you already know about the church.
We know that you're a retired missionary to Russia.
Well, I don't know if I'd really use the word retired, but God has called us to another ministry right here in the United States.
Well, we're really glad you're at our church now, Pastor Chuck.
Thanks, Curtis. We're glad to be here too. But we do miss Russia. My wife Carla and our 2 daughters and I arrived in Moscow, Russia in 1992 to begin the Church of the Nazarene. We were there 13 years. In 1999, while we were in Russia, Moscow First Church of the Nazarene was the first Nazarene church to be officially recognized by the government. This was an answer to prayer. But enough about Russia. What else do you guys know about the Church of the Nazarene?
Well, we know it's around the world and it's over 100 years old. In October of 2008, the Church of the Nazarene celebrated its centennial.
Yep, on that day, a major celebration took place in 151 countries of the world.
That's good, kids. What else have you learned?
The Church of the Nazarene is divided into regions: Africa, Asia Pacific, Caribbean, Eurasia, Mexico, Central America, USA, Canada, and one more.
I remember what it is. It's South America.
I knew that! So, Pastor Chuck, are there other things that you can tell us?
Oh, absolutely, kids. Have a seat and we'll take a short tour of the history of our great church.
Hey, Pastor Chuck, does this room have surround sound? I love it when I hear loud sounds in one ear, then the other.
Oh yeah, I love it when it gets so loud it feels like my head is going to explode.
No, I'm afraid not, kids, but I think you'll like the tour anyway. Maybe some popcorn would be good.
Popcorn?
Yummy.
Okay, kids, it's already made, so I'll be right back.
So Curtis, do you still think Pastor Chuck is just going to give us a boring sermon?
Nah, he's pretty cool. And even if his stories do turn out to be boring, at least we have popcorn and lemonade.
Oh, Curtis, you're such a goofball, but you do have a good point.
All right, kids, take a seat, and let's go back many years ago. The story of the Church of the Nazarene began a long time ago. A young man from England taught a message of holiness in the 1700s. Do you know his name?
Was it Phineas Brzee?
No, Curtis, good guess, but Brzee comes later in the story. The Englishman's name was John Wesley. Wesley taught that the Holy Spirit can cleanse people from sin and give them the power to live a holy life.
Oh, I remember hearing about him. Wesley started the group called Methodists. When Wesley began preaching through England in the 1730s, many people listened and became followers of Jesus.
That's right, Joy. And his followers took Methodism to the United States, where God started a holiness movement in America. Many churches started up to teach and preach this wonderful message God had John Wesley share.
Were they Nazarene churches?
Well, not all of them, Joy. Different holiness churches in the East, West, and South all started about the same time. The group from the West was the first one to call itself the Church of the Nazarene. The churches in the East were called the Pentecostal Church of America, and the churches in the South were called the Holiness Church of Christ.
So is that where Dr. Brzee comes into the story?
You've got it, Curtis. Phineas F. Brzee, the leader of the churches in the West, is considered to be one of the leading founders of the Church of the Nazarene. He and several other leaders decided they would try to help all of the holiness churches become one church.
Well, they must have succeeded, right, Pastor Chuck?
Absolutely, Joy. On October 13th, 1908, in Pilot Point, Texas, many of the holiness church groups came together to make one church. Can you kids guess the name they chose to call it?
The Church of the Nazarene?
No, wait a second. Wasn't it called the Pentecostal Church of the Nazarene for the first few years?
Wow, that's right, Curtis. 11 years later, in 1919, the name was officially changed to the name we call it today, the Church of the Nazarene. Hey, I thought you guys didn't know much about our church's history.
Well, our teacher told us a lot of things lately, but you make the story really come alive, Pastor Chuck.
Why, yes, he does do that. Doesn't he, Curtis?
Did you think learning about the Church of the Nazarene was going to be a bit boring, Curtis?
Yeah, I guess I did, Pastor Chuck, but this is really fun.
Well, good, because our history is important. Even before the Church of the Nazarene existed, these holiness groups already had missionaries in 8 world areas speaking 5 languages.